Hey now, Superfly is 187 coming at you today. Murder was the motherfucking case. Now, this is 100% true and factual story. I'm not talking about Call of Duty here. I'm talking about something that happened, I think, 97, 98. I was still on probation from my break and enter. You might have seen my video, break and enter, busted or whatever. So anyway, I was on probation, but I still like to get down. I still like to go party. I wasn't supposed to hang out with these guys, so I was driving, and I was the only guy around with the car, so we had our buddies all hop in. There was Greg, Bobby, Dennis, and a bunch of girls. Maybe Hector was there too. We had our crew. We were always hanging around together. But I guess one of the boys hooked up with a few girls on the other side of town. So we went to go hang out with them. I had a bunch of dope on me. I don't know. We were smoking oil. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Probably the same thing as dabs are now. I don't know. I don't do drugs anymore, but. Anyway, so we ended up. I made Bobby ride in the trunk because if we got stopped, I didn't want to get busted with being with him. So I said, if you're coming with us, you got to get in the trunk. So he actually said, it's actually pretty funny. He was like, we drove around for a while. And he's like, it was so freaky in the trunk because every time you hit a bump, the light would come on in the trunk. The light would come on in the trunk, and it would freak him out. But he was cool with it. He said it was really fun and whatever. Pretty dangerous to ride in the trunk, but anyway, he was the smallest guy, so whatever. But this is a serious story. So we went to these girls' house. I think we had girls with us too. There was a bunch of us. There's probably about 7 of us in the car and 3 or 4 girls when we got there, so there was a bunch of us, but whatever. So they were drinking, I was smoking. I smoked dope and drive all the time. I didn't phase me at all. I never got pulled over when I was high. Well, actually I did a couple times, but that's another story. Anyway, so we got to this place, these girls' house, and we started partying, started hanging out. I had I think a midnight curfew. I got it extended because of work. I sometimes work till midnight, so we got the judge to extend it to midnight instead of 10 p.m. That was the probation time because I wanted to be able to still work, and they were cool with that, so that was all right. So, but I was able to stay out till midnight on nights that I didn't work as well because that was the terms of the probation. Yeah, probation. Yeah. Anyway, so we get there, having a good time, meeting these new girls, whatever. I think I had a girlfriend. Yeah, I think I was there with my girlfriend, my high school honey, Leanna. She was a little cutie. I punched her V card, her and several other girls. But again, another story. Anyway, so we got there. They started partying, listening to music, drinking, and we were smoking dope. And Dennis didn't have anything. He had some cash. He bought like $20 worth of dope off me, and yeah, so whatever. We were partying, and then we ended up going to another place. This chick's friend had a house, and we went to the house, and blah blah blah. They were all macking these broads. Like I said, I had a girlfriend, and I was ready to go. So anyway, I ended up going. And just basically trying to cut this short within the video here. I ended up going before my curfew because I was a good boy. I didn't want to go back to jail. Fuck, I hated jail big time. And they all stayed and partied, obviously. Well, what happened, from my understanding, after I left is that they got into a fight over one of the girls. Now, she was a skeeza. Like, she wasn't even nothing special at all. But they got into a scrap. I think little Bobby and Dennis got into a scrap. And Dennis was kind of a tough guy. Like, no one really fucked with him. He was one of the native guys that we hung around with. And he was like a really thick-skulled guy, you know. Like, he didn't want to mess around with him because he could take a punch. You know what I mean? But Apparently he was fighting with Bobby, and Greg and Bobby were really tight. And Greg stepped up for Bobby and ended up hitting Dennis in the head with a baseball bat. Now he hit him so hard. Okay, I'll give you the story that they told in court. He got hit in the head with a bat, and the cops were called, or the ambulance was called, or whatever. A bunch of ambulances, cops showed up, and he heard the sirens. He got up and ran. Okay. They didn't. He was never seen again after that. We found the family, the search parties found him several months later. This was in wintertime. They found him after the rivers had all thawed out. They found him in the water about 4 months later. His body was badly decomposed. He was bloated, and I feel bad for the guy. You know, like he was a pretty solid dude. We did a lot of acid together. We hung out. He was pretty cool, pretty trippy. Anyway, the district attorney, or the crown attorney here in Canada, they wanted me to testify in court, so I had to go stand in front of the judge and everything and testify that that I did see him, and you know, I was with him and all this. And I think I was cross-examined, and their lawyers wanted everyone to know that I sold him drugs that night. So I literally had to testify in court that I sold this guy drugs, which is pretty fucking hardcore if you think about it. I'm standing up in court, but I had immunity. I wasn't going to jail for anything, but yeah, it was pretty hardcore. So again, they found his body a bunch of months later, and the murder charge got dropped to aggravated assault, and I think Greg went to jail for, I don't know, a couple of years or whatever. I haven't seen the guy since then. I really haven't. I think he went and joined the army after that. But some pretty serious shit. What I really think happened is that they hit him, yes, with a baseball bat, but they hit him so fucking hard, they killed him. And to cover their tracks, they put him under the ice because they knew no one would find him. I don't know, again, that's just my own theory. These guys are pretty devious. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm not saying they did it, but this is what I think might have happened, and this is the story they stuck to. So who knows? You know, very well could have happened that way. And Greg was, his defense was he had said that where the body went in the ice, went under the ice, he said that he could draw a line from there to his sister's house. So we thought, like, maybe the story was that he was going to see his sister or whatever after the ambulance and the police showed up or whatever. But anyway, some pretty serious shit. Rest in peace to my boy Dennis Linklater, man. My grandma's friends with his family. It was a pretty hard loss. His girlfriend was devastated. We were all devastated as a group. But anyway, I am Superfly is 187. Thanks for checking out my video today. Peace.